And welcome back to Never Not Ask with me, John Martin, and we have another station review. I'm back in London. This time I'm south of the river and the least used station in Wandsworth. Somebody should do a series on that. My friends, we're at the southwestern run station of Queenstown Road, Battersea. Hit the credits. Is this Queenstown Road or Queenstown Road Battersea? Well, it depends on where you look, but generally online it's Queenstown Road Battery to avoid confusion with other stations that aren't called Queenstown Road. There's a Queens Road station in Peckham, which isn't the next station I'm going to review. But if you want to take a guess of which is, let us know in the comments. Get it right, I'll give you a shout out. And in person, it's plain Queenstown Road, unless you look on the building in which it's Queens Road. Queenstown Road Battersea sits on Queenstown Road in Battersea. One of the most unnecessary sentences in any of these reviews. To the north is Battersea Park Station, just a short walk, and beyond that Battersea Park. Then to the River Thames River. To the south is Clapham. This station is actually nearer to Clapham proper than Clapham Junction is. Battersea and Clapham Junction are to the west, and to the east are Nine Elms and Stockwell. The station sits on the southwestern main line between Waterloo and Clapham Junction. Clapham Junction is 1¼ miles to the southwest. Vauxhall is slightly further away to the northeast. Queenstown Road Station has a long and quietly significant history that mirrors the wider evolution of London's suburban train network. It first opened its doors on the 1st of November 1877, built and operated by the London and South Western Railway, one of the great Victorian era railway companies responsible for developing much of the commuter network running into London Waterloo Station. Back then the station was called Queen's Road (Battersea), taking its name from the street on which it stands, itself a tribute to Queen Victoria. At the time of its opening, Battersea was a rapidly industrialising area, a district of timber yard, rail sidings and factories that was drawing new residents seeking work in the capital. The LSWR built the station on one of its busiest sets of track between Vauxhall and Clapham Junction to serve these growing communities and link them directly with central London. The station originally had multiple platforms serving the complex fan of lines leading towards Waterloo. Though the name Queen's Road Battersea endured for more than a century, it eventually changed in response to the shifting geography and identity of the area. After the Second World War, local planners decided to rename Queen's Road itself, perhaps to avoid confusion with many other Queen's Roads scattered across London, and it became Queenstown Road. The station followed suit, officially adopting the new name, Queenstown Road (Battersea), on the 12th of May 1980. But the facade above the station entrance, as I said, still bears the original inscription of Queen's Road, a small visual echo of its 19th century roots. The station's architecture is typical of late Victorian railway design, practical and unfussy, yet with solid brickwork and arched openings to reflect the industrial confidence of the age. Its historical importance is recognised today through a Grade 2 listing, protecting it as a heritage building of some special interest. Over time, Queenstown Road's role has fluctuated with London's transport landscape. When it opened, it provided a crucial commuter link. By the 20th century, it had become a more modest suburban stop. In recent decades, however, the surrounding area has changed dramatically again. The regeneration of Battersea has brought the development around Battersea Power Station and the Battersea Exchange, and this has brought new life and purpose to the neighbourhood, and with it, renewed attention to the station. One recent milestone has been the construction of a second entrance along plans as part of the Battersea Exchange redevelopment. Although proposed as early as 2014, work only began a decade later. The new entrance built onto Patchen Terrace provides easier access for local residents, businesses and the nearby school, which was built as part of the redevelopment. Meanwhile, Network Rail continues to explore the reopening of Platform 1, which has been out of use since the 1990s. This platform's restoration would help separate local and mainline services approaching Waterloo, easing the congestion on one of the busiest stretches of railway in Britain. There are two in-use platforms here. It's an island platform, with 2 being the up platform, 208 metres long, and 3 being the down platform at 204 metres long. Platform 1, side platform, still exists and currently is out of use. The eminent officials at the Department of Transport class this as an F1 category station, the busier of the 2 categories for unstaffed stations. Marks for services, 6 out of 10. It's well known that Clapham Junction is the busiest station in the UK in terms of trains serving the station. But I want to contend that in terms of trains passing the station, this is busier. Trains passing the station rather than trains passing through the station, as you probably see more trains here than anywhere else on the network. Not that you can tell from my footage, which was mainly taken on a Sunday morning. We have all the mainline services from Waterloo going through the station. All the southern services from Victoria that run through Battersea Park pass over a bridge at the end of the station. The London Underground Windrush line from Battersea Park to Wandsworth Road is carried over the station by a bridge. The southeastern services from Victoria pass to the east of the station. Some lines from Victoria towards Clapham Junction that avoid Battersea Park join lines from Wandsworth Road that runs to the south of the station. Looking at what actually stops here, we get a half-hourly service on the Waterloo to Weybridge service via the Hounslow Loop. Waterloo is 7 minutes away, Clapham Junction is 3. Hounslow is about half an hour away, Virginia Water 55 and Weybridge an hour 10. We also have service on Waterloo to Waterloo service via Richmond and then Kingston. It is only served outbound, so Richmond is 21 minutes away, Kingston 40, Wimbledon is about 55, and the train gets back to Waterloo in an hour 12. In the opposite direction, Queenstown Road is just 2 stops before Waterloo, with only Vauxhall 3 minutes away in between. This gives us 8 trains an hour. There are some additional peak services. From 24-25 numbers, we get the most popular destination is London Waterloo, followed by Putney, Vauxhall, Wandsworth Town and Barnes. It's worth noting these are the 5 closest stations to Queenstown Road, excluding Clapham Junction. Wandsworth Town is 3 minutes beyond Clapham, Putney is 3 beyond that, and Barnes another 3. In fact though, Clapham Junction is just 11th in the ranking with 9,580 journeys. For comparison, it's Battersea Park Station's 3rd most popular destination with 63,766 journeys. And just a note on Clapham Junction, I was actually staying near there while I'm filming this footage. And for London-bound services, it's really hard to get information in Clapham about which trains stop at the intermediate stations to Victoria and Waterloo. It's time for the passenger figures. You've been waiting for this. Queenstown Road had 806,010 entries and exits, giving a daily average of 2,208 and a quarter passengers a day. On average, it has 1,030 scheduled services per week, which gives us 15.05 passengers per service. Battersea Park had just over 2 million entries and exits and saw 27 passengers per train. Our numbers are less than half of what we had before COVID. Meanwhile, Battersea Park is pretty much back to its numbers. Enough comparisons between the two for now? Maybe. Marks for onward travel, 4 out of 5. We have 2 out-of-station interchanges here. And this is where the stations are treated as one for ticking purposes, so you won't be charged for transferring between them. The first is Battersea Park Station on the Southern, While I actually did make this change, I'm not really sure how useful it is, as you can change trip lines directly at Clapham Junction, just one stop along from both stations. The other is Battersea Power Station on the London Underground Northern line. South London has weird echoes. Bus-wise, we have the 137 from Marble Arch to Streatham Hill, the 156 from Vauxhall to Wimbledon, and the 452 from Vauxhall to Notting Hill Gate. Close by are the 44 from Tooting to Victoria, the 211 from Hammersmith to the power station, and the 344 from Clapham Junction to Liverpool Street, and the 436 from Battersea Park to Lewisham Shopping Centre. Marks for accessibility, 1 out of 10. The station is not staffed, apparently. I visited on Sunday morning, so I'm not expecting staff, and this station is classed as unstaffed. And National Rail marked this as unstaffed, but there is an information booth here. Also, a ticket gate line. Given the issue you have so often with ticket machines, you'd expect some staff, so an unstaffed gate line is a marked docked. They do have announcements and they have indicators, but the platforms are above street level and only accessible by stairs. Marks for station facilities, 3 out of 10. There's a station building, there's ticket machines, but it's in a London station, so no parking and not exactly that much bike storage outside. There are plenty of covered seating here. A lot of the covering for the covered seating is made up from the bridges that cross the station. However, there's also stuff under the canopies here. Marks for care and character, 10 out of 20. Station is low-key, London and South Western. It's neat, it's elegant, it's functional, it's listing, and it's not over-imposing. And it's just also easy to maintain than larger station buildings, which in South London often need more care and attention than they receive. I like the original Queenstown Road brickwork inside the building. It's nothing to write home about. When I don't write home, I make videos. The tile passage up to the stairs is clean, but the second entrance is intimidating and dark. Onto the platform, the ironwork for the canopies adds character. The canopy is an overall bonus overall, but you get the feeling that once on the platform, it's just somewhere nobody wants to acknowledge. Trains rattle past at every level. Being under 2 railway bridges gives this station a lower status than the southern line above it. Added to this, we have the out-of-use platform. If you're the kind of train spotter who likes noting down each and every number, then this is great for you, as South Western mainline trains pass every couple of minutes, although you won't catch the numbers for the higher level services. If you like variety, maybe not. It's not as Electrostar heavy as the Southern, but it's all much of a muchness. Marks for nearby things, 8 out of 10. Well, we have Battersea Park really close by, with a children's zoo. The River Thames is close by, and Chelsea Bridge if you want to return to the civilised side of the Thames. Battersea Power Station, for long a pop culture icon and disused landmark, is now a retail destination in its own right. It's a pretty easy walk to Clapham, and beyond that to Clapham Common if you want to meet a politician or visit places referenced in Squeeze lyrics. Overall, we get 32 out of 65, which is 49%. I was asked by a friend which of the 2 Battersea stations I prefer, and I smudged an answer. I won't say what I think of Battersea Park just yet, partly because as a lot of my footage didn't record, I need to do a revisit, and so there is no forthcoming review. But while the station building is a classic example of Victorian station, it hasn't kept up with the times. The facilities and accessibility are lacking. There is a lot to do around here, but service-wise, this is still a backwater compared to surrounding stations. Despite being close to Clapham Junction, there is basically little point getting a train from here if you need to change, as Battersea Park has more services. So you basically, if you're going here, you're already on a train, you don't need to change from. Even from Vauxhall, it's probably better to get a bus. Although, if you want to come here for an hour and watch some trains go past, there are a few better places. Well, I've said that I'm not at Battersea Park next week, and I've also said I'm not at Queen's Road, Peckham next week. So subscribe, ring the bell and find out where I am. But put in the comments where you'll think I'll be next week. Thank you once again for watching this as I travel around the country. Please like, subscribe and ring that bell to be notified of the next station review.